All right, so I watched the Deathloop State of Play, and I've realized after watching it that what the executives care about for big games at Sony is storytelling. This is a game that fits right in line with Sony's ethos. Sony understands something that I think some of us haven't quite caught on to yet, is that we all crave story. In sports, if you watch sports, whatever, we want to know how, LeBron James is going to bounce back from being bounced out of the first round of the playoffs with the Lakers next year. If we're looking at hard news, we're not looking for just bullet points of the details. No, we want it delivered in a context of a bigger story. Graphics, that's like sex for Sony. But Sony understands it's story that ends up keeping people. Graphics draws them in. You gotta have those clean, slick 4K graphics, high frame rate, all that stuff. But it's story that ends up keeping people, right? It's video games. We need gameplay. I can already hear it right now. Yeah, but what about the gameplay? This is video games. Right, but look at God of War. Look at Uncharted. Look at Horizon. Look at The Last of Us. None of those games have like super riveting gameplay. None of them. But what they do have is a compelling narrative. One that lots of people get attached to. And then it's just enough gameplay to get you through it. And yet, those games get nominated for Game of the Year. Those games win Game of the Year. And so now look at Deathloop. This is a game, after at least seeing, with 9 minutes of gameplay, I think Deathloop has what it takes to have not only a compelling narrative, but actually compelling gameplay as well. You get both. And so since it's got both, wouldn't you say it's possible that this game could win Game of the Year? And then it's exclusive to Sony for 1 year, so Microsoft don't even get the benefits of it. Yes, it's coming to PC also, but you know what PlayStation is going to do. They're going to claim Game of the Year for PlayStation. It's a PlayStation exclusive. Buy the Game of the Year edition on console. We're the ones who have it. You know how the game works by now. With that said, I think it actually does have an interesting premise. Why is everyone trying to kill the protagonist? Can we even call the protagonist a protagonist? Is he an anti-hero? We don't know. Who are all the people trying to kill him? Like the very specific targets. Why are they trying to kill him? What is going on here? Does it matter that the gameplay should be good? Yes, it matters. Deathloop should look good. Deathloop should play good. And by everything I saw in that 9 minutes, I would say Deathloop seems to be satisfying that. The gameplay looks good. It looks like Dishonored mixed with Hitman. You got the Dishonored with the abilities, the way he moves around, the way he kills, all that stuff. And then you have the Hitman format where it looks like you could kill your enemies in a variety of different ways, which was kind of Dishonored already, to be fair. But considering you have to do this over and over and over again, I don't know, it's still got a little Hitman flair to it. And not only that, we're seeing Arcane do things a little bit differently. Still a dark premise, still moody, but there's a little bit more humor sprinkled around this time. That's new for Arcane. And so what is that going to look like over the course of, probably 12 to 15 hours, maybe more? I am curious about that. Haven't seen much humor out of Arcane in their games. So, unless there's a game that they've made that has more humor that I'm not aware of, I can't think of one off the top of my head. You might be more aware of that. Let me know. But this is new. I am excited about that. Now, of course, one of the biggest factors is how tough the game will be. You have a person who is constantly chasing you. Well, not constantly, but once they enter the world, they will be chasing you while you try to assassinate your target without getting caught. Meanwhile, you're also trying to avoid all the enemies that are already around there, right? So you have that going on. And for me, at least, I know I get a little bit more anxiety when I know I'm on a time limit. And if I got somebody chasing me, I am on a time limit. So there's that. But considering this is the type of game it is, It could be prone to catering to running and gunning. We'll see if it does or not. They did show us that stealth seems to be the thing that they want to, I guess, promote for us. Like, hey, this is not how you play the game, but we want to show you guys that stealth is a thing you can do. But will it be just a thing you can do? Like that's the question. It is a stage demo, so everything that they do is going to be geared towards what they acted out to do, right? But the fact is, every game with a story has to be properly paced. That's just the truth of the matter. If you had a movie and 75% of that movie was build-up, it's not good stuff. Deathloop, I feel like, shouldn't be the most difficult game. But it should be hard enough to where we're not waltzing through it. So if you've played Hades, I feel like that's probably the best comparison here. You understand what I'm talking about if you've played it. If you haven't played it, you need to go play it. It's a great game. But Hades does a good job of slow dripping new unlocks, new enhancement over time, so you're constantly making progress, not only in gameplay but also in story. There's also some buffer in case you die too often with different storylines sprinkled in. The key was, for Hades, it was a tough game, legitimately tough, and those bosses were very tough, but it also wasn't Dark Souls hard either. And that's what Deathloop needs to have a good story and tell it well and have the good pacing. And then once you're done, okay, maybe throw in that new game plus mode for a little bit more difficulty, or maybe have difficulty options for those who want the difficulty. But I feel like if Deathloop's going to do this right, it can't be too hard, but it has to be hard enough to where you're not breezing through the game, obviously. But Sony has figured out what the key is for them and for what they are trying to achieve and for people to buy PlayStation 5s. It's story. So many of the games that they lock up as exclusives are story. Ken, A Bridge of Spirits. Not a huge game, but it's a story-driven one, and it looks nice. You look at all the PlayStation exclusives in their catalog. They're beautiful. Not the greatest gameplay, but they all tell a great story. Deathloop looks to bring that plus intriguing gameplay. So I'm hoping I could get a PlayStation 5 before it comes out, because I want to play this game as soon as possible. It looks really good. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends too. Also, our team uploads raw, non-commentary gameplay of the biggest and smallest games on your radar every day. So subscribe to Gaming Trend videos so you don't miss anything you might be interested in.